Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. I'm a former commando from the United Kingdom, and today we're going to be talking specifically about United States Army basic training. Now, this video was put together about 2 years ago, so it's quite up to date. It's from the channel Defense Video Archives, so the link will be in the description. As always, go show them some love, guys. What we're going to be doing today is we're not only going to be reacting to the video footage that's on this video. We're going to be, comparing Army basic training to what I know about the British military Army basic training, as well as Royal Marines Commandos basic training, because at the end of the day, Royal Marines are amphibious infanteers, so there's going to be some crossover in terms of what we do, what we don't do. But it's going to be a good video, this, guys. It is going to be quite long. The video originally is about 25 minutes, and I will be talking throughout the whole video, guys. There's one or two comments happen on the channel where they seem to think that I'm just going to watch the video and not say a single thing. I am here to add to the original content and completely change it. So I am going to be talking quite a bit extensively, giving you a greater insight of the things that are similar and the things that are different. British training, American training. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be quite a breakdown. So before you start, go get yourself a cup of coffee, or if you're British, a cup of tea. And yeah, let's just get into it, troops. Let's go. Okay, so like every basic training regime within any military, there's always going to be, or there should be, a kit issue at the very beginning of that phase. I remember this vividly. The first 2 or 3 days, amongst thrashings, amongst PT, amongst everything else, you got issued all of your kit, and the sheer amount of the stuff that you get is overwhelming, guys, especially for a young lad who's just left home, not used to washing his own clothes or ironing his own clothes or her clothes. It can be quite daunting, because this is probably one of the first tests mentally for the younger person joining the Army basic training programs, I think, anyway. What do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts about your first time, if you are ex-military or currently serving, about this part of training. Because for me, it was quite overwhelming, I'll not lie. Okay, so that bit, the first main difference, I would say, would be the fact that in the Royal Marines, it's not a shouting environment. There's very specific reasons for that. We're not going to get into it too much on this video, but it's not a shouting environment, okay? We just don't do that in the Royal Marines Commandos. In fact, many US Marines who come over on exchange programs, that's the first eerie thing they notice, is how quiet Lympstone Commando Training Center for the Royal Marines is. We do things very differently. We get a very similar outcome in terms of the output. It's very hard, but the aim of it is to we want an individual who's able and capable of motivating themselves through any situation. So although we might have a higher dropout rate because some people just quite simply need motivating, that's one thing that's different. Whereas Army basic training and the Army basic training in the UK, both quite shouty environments depending on what party you're joining. The Parachute Regiment, for instance, in the British Army is quite a shouty environment, quite a violent, manly, alpha male environment. The end product is quite different to the Royal Marines, though. You've got an aggressive individual. You've got to be an aggressive individual to throw yourself out of a perfectly normal plane. That's in good working order. So the differences are there, and there's some similarities depending on which regiment you're in, guys. Yeah, this is normally where the first bit of corrective PT happens. We don't get thrashed now. It's 2022. It's corrective PT. Normally, because you're late, all right? I can guarantee these young men and women will probably have been late for their next detail. You know, they're told to get out of that kit issue and on a parade or in line, in formation, ready to go for the next detail. Guarantee these guys were late. This is one of the first lessons in the British military. You got to be on time when the instructors tell you to be on time. Simple as that. So this will be a hard lesson, guys. They'll be overwhelmed with all of the kit, and they're going to learn a lesson through physically corrective PT. So I remember this happening in the Royal Marines, very similar in that respect. You know, guarantee you're going to be late, or if one person's late, everyone gets thrashed. So first lesson, be on time all the time. Okay, so a little bit of an obstacle training course here. To me, it looks like it's simulating, it's some form of confidence test. Now, this is, I'm not sure if this video is actually done in chronological order to how it's actually happening within Army Basic Training. I suggest it probably is. My reckoning for them doing something like a confidence test this early on is to weed those out who are maybe not as confident, because you need confidence to go through any kind of basic Army training course. So this is to not only weed those out who are lacking confidence, but an opportunity for those to get confident in doing things, all right? I can do this course. I am going to be able to pursue this and get through it. And those who are really, really scared of something like that, it's an opportunity for them to potentially try and overcome their fears. So for many, this might seem like quite an easy step, but for those who've got a few snags, a few problems with heights, a few problems with confidence, it's their opportunity to make amends with that and move on the course in a good, successful manner. This, to me, is an important part. And in the Royal Marines, although we don't do it very early on in basic training, we do this as a part of our selection process to be able to get into Royal Marines basic training. So you might as well say it's done early on in any part of the British military training cycle. That's guaranteed. So very similar, actually.
Next two.
That's it. Good job. Okay, the thing I like about that, you might not have noticed, but I'm going to let you in on a few military secrets. What happens? There's a time for shouting, there's a time for learning, there's a time for quiet. Everything in the military has a time and a place. When you're doing something dangerous, you'll normally find the instructors just suddenly turn into training instructors, less shouty, more mentorish, all right? And there's a reason for that. They have to turn into a mentor, because although many different aspects of learning can take place under pressure, under a shouting environment, a lot of things actually take place under quiet, under a mentoring type of style. So you'll see the Army basic training instructors in the United States, among the best in the world at this, actually, being able to change from good guy, bad guy, back to mentor guy, back to training guy, back to shouty guy, all in an instant, depending on what type of serial they're doing. So this potential that they could fall from that up a height and seriously injure themselves. That doesn't require a shouting individual. That requires a person, an instructor, able to turn into the mentor to be able to get these recruits through that serial. All right, and it's quite a hard skill to get that, to be able to gauge the situation effectively and ensure that learning takes place. And this is really, really important, guys. It's good to see. And that's just proved my point. You can tell there's the shouting has started again. But if you look at the obstacles, all right, the obstacles are a lot less daunting, a lot less dangerous. So it's time to get the work in now. It's time to put pressure on them physically and mentally. The shouting, you know, it changes, guys. It's a spectacular environment. You don't notice these things when you're going under this duress, but as an observer, understanding how these training programs are put together, that's what's happening. They've changed the mentality and they're changing the instructor training type, depending on what serial they're doing. And it's very similar in the United States as it is in the British military, guys. There's no real difference in that respect. They're actually really hard to do, by the way. Okay, everyone's shouting there. Do you think that's by accident? It's not by accident. They've been told that on this part to get aggressive. Why? Because it's probably quite a far bit to run and they need to get aggressive. This is simulating battlefield stuff. Although they haven't got a weapon, they haven't got their kit on, you know, they're charging towards the enemy. And that's why they're doing it. There's method in every part of the bandits in this military training program. Awesome, man. That's tough, man.
Just reach, you're there. There you go. Reach out and close. Make
Okay, so some of you might be thinking, well, that looks pretty easy. Trust me, when you're doing 3-4 miles of obstacles, then you have to do something like that, carrying your own body weight. It's very, very tough. Now, the only difference here with what I'm seeing there and what would happen in the Royal Marines, for instance, is we'd be on top of the rope because that's just how we operate as commandos, you know. But in certain scenarios, we would be doing that for physical endurance, for physical strength, for a training purpose, and that's what they're doing there. No different to the British Army. Very, very similar indeed, guys. It's almost like the same thing, except the accents is different. Working hard, working hard. Speed it up a little bit.
Let's go. Let's go. Grab your shoulder blades. All the way through. Take me. Go. You're almost there. Let's go. Go.
Yeah, same type of stuff, guys. We'd be doing that on bottom field all the time. It's to simulate many different things. It's to get you dirty. It's to get you used to working hard under duress. It's also to simulate you need to be able to move effectively under cover if there's enemy fire going above you. You might be a GBMG. There might be a 50 cal firing rounds over the whole troop, and you got to be able to get down, dig deep, scraping the dirt with your fingernails to get to a position. So that's what that's replicating there. Okay. A very, very effective bit of kit. You'd be surprised at just how much you could turn into this from experience in training, guys. It works. It works for a reason. And that looks like it's pot behind them that's grown, but I take it it's not. It looks like it's not weed, but weeds.
Go, Tom, go.
Go. Come on. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, they're hanging out right now. That's really difficult, and they're feeling the pressure now. Getting back into some crab walks. Blowing the knees out, blowing the calves out, blowing the arms out. Your physical fitness will go through the roof doing this.
Come on, guys, let's go. Come on. Let's go, fellas. There you go, like that. You're almost done. Go.
This is something that actually, the one big difference I've noticed, and I'm guessing, again, this is in chronological order, we didn't actually touch the endurance course, which is something very similar to this, until very late on in training. We had to go through a number of processes before we even got to that point. Okay, so that's one thing I'll say about the United States Army basic training. It's advanced in the way that they're actually wanting you to dig deep and do all of that grueling soldiering, battle physical training type stuff quite early on, which is a surprise. It take quite a while before we get introduced to that in the Royal Marines. There's a reason for that. You know, we need to build up to the 30-miler and the commando tests and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, that just proves that the US Army soldier is expected an awful lot of from the very start. And it's going to be hard from the start. You haven't built up that robustness that, for instance, I would have built up over 20, 25 weeks before we step into this kind of stuff. Yes, we're doing bottom field, which is very similar, but it's more of a condensed version of what I'm seeing here. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the fact that you get to do this type of stuff so early on. And it's pretty hard, guys. That's going to be hard. These guys are going to sleep hard and tight on the night time, all right, after this, if they even get that much sleep. Probably not. So yeah, I'm impressed with that for that reason. This takes it out of you, that's for sure.
Come on! Guys! Come on! Go!
Having fun, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Stay like that.
Okay, so we've seen a change in instructor type now. You're going to be able to spot this in all of the videos that you watch. Things that you wouldn't normally have spotted unless you've served in the military is the instructors changing their tone a little bit now. So they've went from aggressive and shouty, shock of capture, to mentoring. All right, there's a time and a place to shout, and let's change it to mentoring. Right now, they've switched to the funny guy. All right, to get a little bit of humor in the guys. What that does is it installs confidence in the instructors, and what it also does for the student is it allows them to go, this isn't a big a deal because the instructors are laughing and joking with us, so it mustn't be that big a deal. Okay, it can't be too dangerous, so there's no need for me to worry. The instructors are here. They're the ones supporting us, on this whole thing. They're the safety staff. If they're laughing and cracking jokes with us, I don't need to fear anything, all right? And it works. They're quite similar in the Royal Marines, actually. The instructors will fire a couple of jokes at you. Yes, you might be thrashed before and after the whole serial, but that's just to get your physical fitness up, guys, all right? Every thrashing in the military is there for a reason. It's not there to punish you. It's there to give you an opportunity to improve something physically. So you get thrashed with press-ups, it's an opportunity to improve your upper body strength. If you get thrashed with running and sprinting up hills and stuff like that, it's an opportunity to be able to increase your cardiovascular fitness. So everything has a purpose, and the purpose for this is to instill confidence and the student so that they can overcome the task, which many of them, believe it or not, will actually be quite scared to do. Anything at height, anything with ropes, if you're not experienced with that, can be quite scary. I was quite scared of doing mountain stuff. Royal Marines Commandos, we're Arctic and mountain warfare specialists, so we do a lot of work at height with kit, with weight, sometimes without ropes and stuff, so it can be quite scary. So if you don't have that sense of humor, cheerfulness in the face of adversity, you're going to fail that evolution, guys. Oh, you know what's going here? The gas chamber. They've got the gas masks on at the ready, and there's a lot of scared faces. When you're in basic training, there's one thing that I would say is similar amongst us United States military guys and girls and the UK military guys and girls, is that there'll be stories passed through the grapevine, or the nodvine, as we said in the Royal Marines, horror stories of what goes on in these gas chambers in the training serials and stuff. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong, but you've only got to go through it yourself to find out what the truth is. And in truth, the gas chamber, when you're doing all these gas drills and stuff like that, it isn't actually very pleasant. I'm not going to lie. It does burn, it does hurt. But at the end of it, that adversity that you've overcome, it turns into humor very, very quickly. So it's something that's forgotten about, and you adapt and overcome very, very quickly. Some people actually fail basic training at this point, either through to medical reasons or to unforeseen circumstances, all right, with how they react to it. They might, I've seen people have panic attacks. I've seen people have asthma attacks. I've seen people have all sorts of different things, but the majority of people get through it with no problems, just a snotty nose and runny eyes, to be fair. So I can imagine this being very, very similar in the United States. For that reason, guys. But we're 23 minutes in now, so what I think we're going to do is break this into maybe 3 videos, just so you guys don't have to sit here for too long, all right? Otherwise it'll be well over an hour, because I do like to talk a lot on these things to add something different to it, guys. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up something that I'd like you to listen to for another minute or so. I'd really appreciate that. But before we do, if you could smash a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below on your thoughts and feelings of how your basic training was, or how you would like your basic training to be if you are aspiring to join the United States or the UK Army, or any other military for that matter. But what I want to bring up is this. I've got about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks left of my little mission that I've set myself on, that you're all involved with. And it's to get 40 to 70,000 views per video. The reason it's 40 to 70,000 is that's what I've been advised I need from a very, very high up talent manager who manages, you know, some of the biggest YouTube personalities on the planet. Been in contact with that individual to try and get, you know, a contract with them guys, so I can bring my content to the next level, and mainly so I can start YouTube boxing. I need a talent manager to be able to do that. They've advised me that I need the views to be in that bracket before they'll even look at me. And fortunately, since mentioning that to you guys, the support has been absolutely staggering. It's been phenomenal, and I'm meeting them. I'm meeting them targets right now. So if we can continue that for the next couple of weeks, you know, I can see that contract being signed. I can see that talent manager going, yeah, you've proved yourself. Well done. We've been able to do that. And you'll see me on a YouTube boxing show very, very soon. I have no doubt about that. I do believe generally within all of my heart that I can achieve that I can do well on the YouTube boxing circuit, and I can perform for the veterans out there, for the non-veterans, for anyone who supports my channel. I do think we need a little bit more diversity in YouTube boxing. We've got plenty of singers, we've got plenty of YouTubers, but we ain't got no ex-military guys. We haven't got no veterans in there. And the veteran community is one of the best communities on the planet. It's such a humongous one as well, and we're all united by one thing: shared adversity, guys. So it doesn't matter what military you pertain to. We've all wear the black, green, and the camouflage gear. You know, we've all been through it. So I believe that I can do a lot for YouTube boxing, for the veteran community, and use my platform to benefit others as well. So if you want to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, that's going to help. If you can watch the video for as long as possible, that's going to help. Most importantly, if you can share this content by any means possible on Discords, on servers, on discussion groups, on Facebook, you name it, guys, that's the thing that's going to help me out the most. So if you're one of those persons doing that, thank you, guys. If you're a member who's supporting the channel, thank you. And if you've watched it this far, let me know in the comments so I can thank you even more. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.